Hi, this video steps you through connecting a SIPcity Metro voice router that we've configured to a VLAN2 mode. Now, after you've watched it, it shouldn't take you any more than 10 minutes to get the whole lot up and running, including making your first phone call. Now, as our premise, we've assumed this is what your current network probably looks like. Your computers are connected to a LAN switch, which is also an internet router, with sites with more than 5 users also having a dedicated LAN switch in between the router. And finally, telephones are connected via ISDN back to Telstra or Optus. So our VLAN2 routers enable you to share an existing PC or Mac Ethernet cable with your new telephone. Before you touch the phones, you'll power up the router. At the same time, we're going to plug the FE0 port onto your SIPcity router into the spare port on the internet router, and then the FE1 into another spare port on the same router. On the phones, it's simply a matter of swapping the Ethernet cable from the network port of the desktop over to the LAN port of your Polycom phone, and then run a short fly lead from the Mac or PC to the phone, and that's it. Now, to show you what that actually looks like, as you can see here, using a Telecom RJ11 plug, connect the SIPcity ADSL into the ADSL port or the POTS port. To enable your Office or PC or Mac to access the default internet gateway through this phone's onboard switch, run a fly lead between the port FE0 on the SIPcity router and any port on your internet router. Now, inversely, to allow your phones to communicate with the SIPcity router, connect the second Ethernet patch lead between FE1 on our router and the switch that your office computers will also be patched into. And that's it for the router. Turn the router on. I've sped this up a little, but you'll be looking for the PPP light, which should eventually come up in about 2 minutes at the outside. To the phones, we're going to unplug the Ethernet cable from your PC or Mac and plug that into the LAN port of your phone. Now connect the short Ethernet patch lead from the PC port of your phone to your computer. Before you do anything else, you need to take note of the MAC address, which for the Polycoms is the serial number on the phone's box, or you can also find that same number on the back of the phone if you don't have the box anymore. So we're going to jump across the SIPcity Live, go to device provisioning, enter the phone's MAC address, select the number and hit add. Now, this is how we associate the MAC with the individual phone numbers. Of course, for this phone, don't forget to select the VLAN mode to the right, hit add, and you're finished. So jumping back to the phone, if you've purchased one of our handsets pre-provisioned, then you can ignore this next piece. If not, you'll need to add the provisioning URI to the provisioning line on the phone. Now, this isn't a hassle if you only have 1 or 2 phones, but if you're configuring large blocks of phones, the pre-provisioning does save an awful lot of effort. Anyways, turn the phone on. To access the web UI, we need the phone's IP address. With all Polycoms, just hit the home button and then the settings key. On this VVX 300, you'll need to scroll across to the settings, hit number 4 for status, 2 for network, and 1 for TCP. Once you've got the IP address, jump down to the phone's web UI. The standard admin passwords for all Polycoms is 456. Set the Prov UI, which you'll find under the settings menu. All you'll need to do is change the server type to HTTPS and enter the URI https://poly.tlssip.com. Hit the save at the bottom of the page, and you don't need to touch any of the other settings. Now, after you've hit save, the phone will reset itself. When it comes back up, it will go to the location poly.tlssip.com and present its MAC address with a certificate. We verify the certificate and the MAC, and then we'll send back a full config to the phone. So on this phone, you can see the number we selected early on as well. When I scroll back to the IP address on the phone, you can see that it has the DHCP of the SIPcity router. So that's it. You've just configured a Polycom phone into a VLAN2 mode on the SIPcity network. If you've got any questions, jump onto our chat or give us a call on 1-800-150-686. And thanks for your time.